Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy TKD123 here, back again with a video. Of course, it is Friday. That means another installment of Say It's Loud, the weekly news show where we go over first party and third party news revolving around PlayStation. Now, starting off here, this story here hits kind of close to home in terms of nostalgia. Not so much nowadays, it really does hit home in terms of nostalgia back in the day when I used to play a lot of course, Call of Duty. A major game, you guys are very much well aware. It is one of the biggest franchises, if not the biggest franchise right now currently in gaming, and probably still is, you know what I'm saying? Even though Call of Duty is a kind of a downhill slope overall, but generally speaking, it's still on top, you know, it still sells big. And obviously here, Call of Duty, if you're not aware, ever since 2011, I think, or 2012, it's been on a 3 developer rotation of development cycles, and so it goes I believe Infinity Ward, and then Sledgehammer, and then Treyarch in that rotation, and they switch off every year so that way they can have an annualized Call of Duty series. However, you know, of course, as we all know, this year's Call of Duty is slated to be by Infinity Ward, and I keep looking at the screen. I need to look at the camera, gosh. Anyway, you know, this year is reportedly going to be Infinity Ward. However, next year, you know, according to the rotation, it would have been Sledgehammer's turn, and then Treyarch in 2021. However, we've gotten some weird things come out about Call of Duty 2020 that's actually really interesting. And so apparently here, this was all leaked by Kotaku and everything, and they, you know, published the whole thing a few days ago. However, they said that Call of Duty 2020 was originally being developed by Raven Software. And Raven Software, if you guys are not aware of, they're kind of like a satellite type of developer that helps out with Treyarch and helps out with Infinity Ward and any assistance and stuff like that, and with Sledgehammer Games also as well. So they kind of help out all of the other main developers that make Call of Duty. However, they were actually given the keys to be able to develop their own Call of Duty for 2020, and that was a big thing. And Sledgehammer was actually going to support them, and so it was Raven Software as the lead development team, and then Sledgehammer supporting them. However, there have been a lot of reports that came out from that Kotaku article that have said that the overall game was just not in a good shape. It was very rough. A lot of people were saying that it was just falling apart. There were a lot of fights about the game and everything. And so now, in an unprecedented move here, Treyarch is allegedly now taking up the reins of the series and will be going forward for it in development, which in itself is absolutely crazy to think, because man, like, if you guys are not even well aware, you know, Black Ops 4 wasn't the best received here, and for them to just be jumping on this project right after Black Ops 4 just came out, it seems kind of dicey, guys. I don't know, hopefully it turns out well, we'll see, you know. And at the end of the day, I still like Treyarch games, but Black Ops 4 wasn't everyone's cup of tea. It wasn't really my cup of tea per se, you know, but I guess we'll see what comes of Call of Duty, you know, this Call of Duty 2020 game in the future, with it having this botched development and with it only coming out in 2-year development cycle, because Treyarch just got done with Black Ops 4, so now they have 2019 to work on this game and the rest of 2020 to finalize the game. And so it definitely is a quick turnaround. It's supposed to also have a single player campaign, which is great to hear as well, that is going over the Cold War era, which is great because obviously Black Ops started in the Cold War era, my favorite Call of Duty game. So we'll see how it all goes, guys, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What do you guys think about this whole thing? Let me know your thoughts down below. Next up here, last week we talked about how, you know, Sony and Microsoft are working together on this streaming initiative to make both their services be bolstered and be improved, especially on the PlayStation side, with them utilizing some Azure servers that are owned by Microsoft. And so it's a joint opportunity for them to kind of pave the way and have better technology for both them to use in the future. However, what's crazy here is that there were like a ton of reports that were coming out this week that a lot of people at PlayStation were not aware of this move, and they were very much scared and very caught off guard with this news that Sony was working with Microsoft. And I keep looking at the screen, not the camera, I swear. Anyway, let's read the quote here. So the quote says, quote, "Staff at the gaming division were caught off guard by the news. Managers had to calm workers and assure them that plans for the company's next generation consoles weren't affected." And so it looks like a lot of people were very much kind of shook by this news, but looks like it was just probably just something that was not, you know, told to PlayStation. I don't know why it wasn't told to them, because it really does directly affect them and their PlayStation Now services and everything moving forward in terms of PlayStation and streaming. So very interesting to see that, and plus, if you recall, we have a video that came out earlier this week that was going over some more PS5 info, and a lot of the PS5's future and a lot of PlayStation's future is really focusing on streaming. So very interesting that they weren't even aware of this news of them working together, like working with Microsoft on the streaming initiative. But let me know what you guys think below. What do you guys think about all this? Are you guys surprised that they were caught off guard? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Next up here, guys, you already know one of my most anticipated games of the year is, of course, Watch Dogs 3. I personally cannot wait for it. However, we have some new news here that could potentially be legit, but it was on Reddit and there was some leaks going around about Watch Dogs 3. So I'm going to read you some of it here. So it's supposed to be set in London, and the main character is a young lady named Sarah. She's half Asian, half English. She works for a counter-terrorist organization in a branch that specializes in stopping cyber attacks. She is tasked with infiltrating a hiker group, bringing their operations down and finding out who is in charge. You won't be able to use weapons like guns or knives, but instead batons, tasers, and non-lethal weapons. Parkour is making a return from Watch Dogs 2 and has been revised so it feels more fluid and natural. You can also do skateboarding, graffiti. Side missions include fighting drug dens and getting them shut down, as Sarah has a strong dislike for them as her brother died from a drug overdose. Set in the near future, and the city will feel a slight more cyberpunk than other games. Mobs will form and riots will begin. You can either take part in them or shut them down. The game will be teased 2 weeks before E3 and have a full gameplay review at E3 will release in November 2019. Honestly, all of that makes sense. Honestly, all of that really does check out for me in my book. Let me know what you guys think about this whole Watch Dogs 3 thing. Honestly, everything in that seems like it's definitely possible. Seems like it just definitely does sound like where it's coming from. If you were to have a Watch Dogs being, in London, definitely does make sense how you're going to be utilizing non-lethal weapons, because obviously the weapon laws there are definitely more strict than the US laws and everything. And just this, it just makes sense. To me, it just makes sense. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are you with it? Are you not with it? Let me know your thoughts. Another thing that we talked about earlier this week, this was on Cross Circle this week, the Cross Circle podcast. Make sure to go check out that podcast on PlayStation Source. However, the main topic of that this week was, of course, the announcement of PlayStation Productions, where they will be making TV shows and movies on the PlayStation IP and different IP that they have in PlayStation Warehouse. And we went over the whole show really just talking about what potentially could be a movie or TV show, etc. However, we got rumors shortly after this announcement that Twisted Metal TV series is supposedly being made currently. And so, honestly, I've never played a Twisted Metal game. Honestly, so I have no ties to it. I know the most recent one was in PS3 era, I believe. It was like 2011, 2010 maybe. I'm not sure when it actually came out. But yeah, I have no ties to Twisted Metal. But if you're a Twisted Metal fan, let me know if this, hypes you up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And while we got that whole PS5 news, there was a lot of news revolving around the PlayStation Network and stats on the overall service. And so I'm gonna just start by reading this off, guys, because there are some incredible stats here, and they have some insane numbers here. So Sony revealed in his recent investors meeting that the PlayStation Network now has a whopping 94 million active users, with 90% having connected to the internet at some point in the past 12 months. PlayStation Plus can boast of impressive numbers too, with over 36 million subscribers at the end of March 2019. During the 2018 fiscal year, PS4 was used on an average of more than 21 hours a week, and who can blame them? With a wealth of content at their fingertips, PlayStation 4 engagement is off the charts. PSN users are also splashing the cash too, with an average lifetime spending of $700 in the PS Store, which is crazy. Oh my god. Collectively, over $20 billion was spent on the PlayStation Store during fiscal year 2018, a number many of us can't even comprehend. This comes off of the back news that PSN alone generated more income for Sony than the entirety of Nintendo in 2018. So that's crazy that $20 billion was spent on PS Store alone. That just shows, the power of PlayStation cannot be denied. And of course, while we're here talking about milestones, let's not forget a really big one this week. That was, of course, God of War, critically acclaimed, just released their Raising Kratos documentary. It's great and everything. It's a super great documentary. Definitely check it out. God of War, if you haven't played it, what are you doing? And they have now passed 10 million sales for God of War during its release. So that is incredible, guys. And that brings it up to other PlayStation games that have reached that mark, being Uncharted 4, Last of Us Remastered, Spider-Man's creeping up there with 9 million. It's great, guys. So definitely cool to see that God of War is a hit commercially, not only critically. Now, we got a sequel to a game franchise here that was announced last year, but just got a stealth alpha that came out of nowhere, at least to me. And that game here is Nioh 2. They're being invited randomly, it seems like. There's no really rhyme or reason why people are getting invited to this alpha, but it's running through May 24th through June 2nd. So if you're a Nioh fan, not sure how you can get into this, not sure, maybe they'll make it an open alpha towards the end of it, but right now there is a closed alpha for Nioh 2. If you're down with it, there's a trailer that released as well, you're seeing on screen here. I'm definitely not going to touch it, not really anything that, you know, I want to play, nothing interested in Nioh, but if you are and you've played it, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, while Days Gone is getting patched, you know, left and right throughout the days, it has made a pretty good splash in terms of NPD numbers for April 2019. Days Gone was second in the top 20 of April 2019 for you know, NPD sales for the month of April. So it's pretty cool to see that there. It was not beaten by Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 took that top spot. We have MLB The Show at number 3, Division 2 at number 4, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate at 5, and the rest, as you can tell, Secure was number 7 as well. So pretty cool to see that there, but it's really cool to see that Days Gone was able to take that second slot. I think that's very, very telling of a very healthy, you know, game overall. You know, even though it didn't blow everyone away, you know, I'm still enjoying it, I'm still playing it overall, but you know, it seems like it didn't really flop. Didn't really flop. You know, I feel like it did pretty good commercially. It's really cool to see that there. And lastly here we have the man Shuhei Yoshida was out here visiting a certain studio, and that studio was of course Housemarque. And so we have a tweet here. He says visiting wizards at Housemarque in sunny Helsinki. I don't know what that is, guys, sorry, my bad. But what was interesting here is that Sony XDev Europe, a support studio for Sony Worldwide Studios as a whole, they quote tweeted this tweet, you know, with some eye emojis. And so a lot of people are saying that this could be potentiality of them teasing the prospect of Housemarque making another IP for PlayStation and another game, maybe another launch title similar to what they did for PS4 with Resogun. They could be making another PlayStation 5 day one drop here for the new console for next year. That could be a potentiality. Maybe they're being helped by with Sony XDev. We'll see, you guys. I don't know, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Would you guys want to see a Housemarque, you know, day one PS5 release? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been this week's Save Slot. If you all enjoyed, make sure to leave a like on the video as well as stay subscribed to PlayStation Source to keep up with latest and greatest in PlayStation. Down below you can find our links where you can find our Twitter, our Discord as well. Make sure to follow us down there. Thank you all for watching, and as always, greatness awaits.